Hello, hi, welcome and thank you for being here today. I hope you're having a gorgeous day or night. We're gonna get some clarity and see what's going on. We're gonna start with the energy, the overall situation, and whatever messages would be the most helpful for you to hear today. This reading is timeless. Whenever it finds you, it's perfect. See what resonates. Always follow and trust that divine inner guidance that's in you and try to make balanced decisions between logic and intuition. So your decisions are sound, they're based in love and for the highest, greatest good of everyone. So we're all uplifted in love. Always follow and trust that beautiful, deep, divine, direct connection that you have to your higher self, to God, to Source, to the universe. The answer is in you. So let's begin with the energy oracle. Let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels, and energies of love have for the highest and greatest good of all. What is the biggest energy to illuminate that is going on perhaps in the dark right now? That somebody is walking away. That could be you. That could be somebody else, because this did come out kind of upside down. Maybe there was a stall on an ending that needed to happen. Somebody kept going to that gate, opening it up, looking out at that vast, expansive new territory, and then retracted back into the gate, or retracted back into the comfort zone. What you knew, what this person knew. It looks like now a decision has been made and they're following this illumination of the peaceful dove and the illumination around their crown chakra to go in a certain direction, even if this direction feels unusual, like it's a big decision. Somebody knows this is the right choice. So this could be many different subjects. This could be somebody walking away from a job or a position. This could be somebody walking away from a home or an apartment and moving. This could be somebody walking away from a relationship or a friendship or a friend group. This could also be somebody walking away from just an old way of seeing their usual situation. So let's see who's walking away. Tell us more about why somebody's walking away, what they're walking away from. Number 27. They're walking away from something that never felt like it was achieving, or never felt like it was really reaching the goals that maybe one set in the beginning of a situation. So it could be where there was stagnant energy. It could be where somebody also didn't feel like they were growing anymore. It's also with this dove of illumination, somebody walking towards what they know is definitely a bigger possibility of victorious energy, where they feel like even though maybe getting to that victory might be a hard, rough, weird road, that there's definitely growth that can happen, that they can see something progressing forward with momentum, and they feel good about not just that next goal, maybe walking away, the first step, but they see how those goals can keep expanding. There was something in the past that was gated in, stagnant, stuck, and it felt like, I want to say like empty success before. So maybe this is somebody redoing a situation, but doing it with a different energy, with a different flow, with a different motivation, with a different enthusiasm. And that's why it will maybe now be successful. It could also be where somebody is walking into their destiny, walking with their authentic truth, walking in a direction where they are given signs and synchronicities and signals by spirit that I hear there's another way, or there's another road, or there's another path. There are many paths also to the same destination. If you have a destiny, you may take the long way and, get a bunch of hurdles that get in your way, some blocks, but eventually if something is in your destiny, even though we have free will, the free will to choose which path, which way, which direction, you will still always be redirected to those major crossroads in your life where that choice, that next step, that specific decision will take you on a trajectory on one path or another. The ultimate lesson will be learned either way, but sometimes it's how fast or slow you learn it. So let's see what this is about. I kind of want to see what your lesson is here, or what this person's lesson is. Whoever this energy is, sometimes readings are for the viewer, and sometimes the readings come through as a cross-watcher. So if this story makes sense that it might be illuminating somebody else's situation or path, I just heard progress, then that's coming through from somebody's higher self to help you with your next step for inner standing on a certain person or a certain situation. I am getting, for a lot of you, this could be career, and for a lot of you, it can be a connection. I see like the golden path. There's also something about these pillars looking both like light posts, but also like a crystal. You know, they look like, you see them there? So there's something about memory, maybe connecting to nature. I'm also getting, I want to say like ancient energy somehow. I just heard Akashic records. Maybe some of you are getting an Akashic record reading or having some really big divine insight on a true destiny, or perhaps even parallel lifetimes, how you chose maybe at that crossroads a different direction, and you're getting almost like a redo or a redirect or a jumping of timelines, big time kind of energy, because the Akashic records are kind of, I mean, it's where that time thing doesn't exist. They're very confusing. It's like all the parallel lifetimes all going on at once, and everything you've ever done and said and thought and felt and gone through all at once, you know? So maybe there's also something about records, or a library, or information, or a journal. Maybe even some of you are writing a book, a memoir, a bio, an intro, something like that. Maybe even a resume. I am seeing if some of you are doing something like that and you're submitting for something, that I see you have to do a little switch up on the old copy and paste that you may have done in the past, because a little switch up, a little spice of you, or a little something different, some kind of thing that brings a direct connection between you and the reader, or you and who's interviewing you, maybe even you and who you're going on a date with. There's something about a personal connection of authenticity, maybe about a lesson you've learned, or about something you've gone through, or about how you've had growth, about how you've gained new perception by going through something, and how you see something different than you would have in the past. But it's like because of a situation that you got to see something different, and that is a helpful connection. Also, I see structure. You know, I see this fence, and I feel like, let's just say it's a resume, and everybody has that, you know, typical resume, the typical outline, the typical way of doing something, and then you have like, I mean, I see like a different color paper. I feel like you have to listen to yourself and what should be different about it, but there's something about maybe your picture that you put on it, the way you format something. There's something about if you just twist the structure, or you give it a little twist of you, I feel like that gives you an in, or it helps you to be noticed. It puts you, I see you at the top of the pile now, whereas before you would get kind of lost in the files. So maybe it's even if you're sending an email, maybe it's even the title. You know, so if somebody is looking at 2,000 emails a day, but there's something about your title that kind of stands out, I feel like that has something to do with this victorious energy, and you maybe even opening up a door that was possibly locked and closed before. Because I feel like if you're stuck in the gate, you're stuck in this tiny little arena. But if you're outside that gate, there's so much potential to reach the world, for growth in your life, for growth within yourself. But there has to be a little bit of courage, is what I see. For whoever this is walking away, courage to go into the unknown, courage to try something different, courage to, I hear start again. That can be really big. That can be very intimidating. So let's see what a soul's lesson is. This could really connect to you in your particular situation, or this could be giving you understanding on somebody else's current soul lesson. What is the current soul lesson that is occurring right now? Please and thank you. Current soul lesson. Ooh, what is that? Oh yeah, denial. Somebody, maybe that's a big lesson. That's somebody getting in their own way. That's somebody who does self-sabotage. That's somebody who might have the truth right in front of them, might have that illumination and those signs and those messages from within right in front of them, but they prefer not to change. They prefer it to be what their ego wants. They prefer to not hear the truth, because the truth might be, you know, scary, or the truth might not be what they want to hear, or the truth might bring about changes they're not thinking they are ready for. It's where somebody wants to stick their head in the sand. It doesn't mean that there's not a scenario going on around their ass, but sticking their head in the sand or putting the blinders on, pretending it's not there. There's no big elephant in the room. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, my dog all funny. It's like, you know, the elephant is getting hungry and it's going to start looking for peanuts pretty soon, make a big old mess in the house. So somebody is dealing with, whether that's you or somebody you're connected to, you could also be mirroring somebody. And maybe somebody is even denying how they emotionally feel about a person or environment or situation. Maybe somebody is in denial about the potential for success. You know, if somebody is a little scared or a little nervous that success brings so many changes, are they good enough? Can they handle it? I don't know. It's easier to just stay stuck. Hi, Rose. I knew I got her all antsy here. Denial is just the acknowledgement of what you might fear. That can be anything. That can be movement, that can be change, that can be success, that can be failure, that can be fear of how deeply you feel, that can be fear of that you actually aren't feeling something anymore. It could be fear of anything, but fear, once it's faced, and you're like, okay, what? Now you have self-awareness. Now you have that inner reflection that whatever was getting in your way or whatever you were scared of can now be changed, because the change always begins in one's self. So I acknowledge my fear, but here's the thing. You replace it with the insight of awareness. Sometimes the harsh reality of a situation isn't the most comfortable, but it will get you on the right path faster. It will put you in the position where you can now come up with a real solution. It will give you more insight and light on at least your next step. It will help you rediscover the truth within you, or the truth within a situation. Hi, baby. I know, she wants attention now. So that's a really big, powerful lesson for someone to go through. But once that fear, I'm just getting that it like dissipates. You know, if it was like a big, I'm getting like a big, heavy energy, almost like a shadow, where it's almost like something you can touch, where it sort of wants to swallow light, but can't quite. And now I see that shadow kind of becoming more like a mist. Now I see that mist becoming like drops of water, which I see as cleansing something, almost like the water molecules are beautiful, energetic light that is not really like swallowing. I feel like it's almost like transmuting those dusty, cloudy kind of energies before and replacing it with a twinkle, with a sparkle, with a light. And I see a kaleidoscope, so it's like seeing something multifaceted instead of maybe only in one way. So let's see what this is all about. I'm not sure if my dog needs my attention. She might. You need my attention right now? Yes, I'll be right back. I'm actually going to go back to the energy oracle and see what the most prominent energy that somebody is in denial about is, even though everyone's situation is completely different. So tell us why somebody is in the energy of denial, or what this denial is focusing on. Denial of love, denial that one is lovable, that one can have real, true, deep, divine, beautiful, guided love and partnerships. Denial of self-love. Maybe somebody not feeling they're good enough for a certain person, or even good enough for a certain position or job, whatever that is. This is an angel coming through, even in the energy oracle, to give you clarity, to almost like give you a big hug, a peaceful hug, to help you or whoever this person is recognize how beautiful their heart is, how free love can be, how there can maybe be a different kind of love than they have experienced. There is definitely a loving energy that is surrounding you, that is guiding you, that is guiding this person. Maybe this is somebody who always had their heart broken, or never had a good example of what a spiritual partnership could be. Therefore, they had nothing to compare it to. Maybe this is somebody who had lifetimes of getting to that crossroads and stepping into the fearful decision, or letting fear or ego take over the direction and the decision their heart wanted to lead them towards. Maybe this is somebody who took the direction of their heart and then they felt loss and heartache and pain. There has to be that beautiful understanding of all the growth that comes with that. I'm also getting that for someone to deny themselves of feeling something at all, or taking a chance of how something can unfold, whether that's a short relationship or a lifetime or lifetimes, to not have that experience feels like it brings, I feel like, more anxiety or more hurt about the loss that never was than an experience that feels like such a blessing, no matter how long or short that is. There's something that feels like getting that experience feels like such a gift from heaven. So there is love coming in that keeps coming through for you guys. Maybe somebody had a big old block on their heart. Maybe this angel of love, or you, is stepping into somebody's life, and even if they had ice around their heart, it's like you're that warm energy of light and it just melts. Maybe this is a transition or a connection that takes a long time for somebody to really mend or heal before they're ready. Angel of love. So somebody was done. I'm getting the biggest thing. Someone was denying their feelings. Someone was denying that their feelings were real, that their feelings were valid, that their feelings were guiding them towards the right person. Maybe they didn't in the past, but sometimes we go through karmic lessons where it's the wrong person, but you signed up to be with that person because it's actually right, because it actually gained you growth. It gained you strength to know what your boundaries are, what your red flags are, what you will compromise with and what you won't. So that's still a soul's lesson. but I feel like where you're being called to, or where somebody is walking towards as they walk away from perhaps what was not their highest and greatest good, whatever that is, whether that is a job or a partnership, a position or an environment, a town or a city. It's somebody recognizing that there is more out there. There's a truth that they feel in their soul for an experience that they get to have. And they don't know how, they don't know when, they don't know why, but they know that it has to be in a different direction of what was not really blossoming anymore, not really fulfilling their soul or warming their heart, because there's a reason that somebody kept cold. I feel like for a lot of you, this could be somebody that is actually, I mean, I get lifetimes, but there could be something rooted in childhood, or maybe just their experiences with what love is throughout their life, or that could be you. There is something coming in, gifting you or this person a chance to really feel loved, to really feel a healing, to make something not just in the emotions, but actually grounded and tangible and real. I don't know why I heard touch and a little sassy. I heard taste, feel and embrace, smell and laugh with. I'm just getting this all-encompassing of all the senses kind of energy. I'm also getting energies that go beyond what you can make sense of, like really tapping into the ether, tapping into energies that are felt but maybe not quite seen. So let's get you an angel number from this gigantic 3-in-1 angel number deck. So since we have an angel of love, this angel's really beautiful. Maybe you're also connecting to both red and pink. You do have a lot of red and pink and gold, orange, creativity, value, the root, passion. And there's also like a soft tranquility about these energies. Wow, that was so quick. You have 55 or 0550. So it's the eye candy. Maybe you thought because something was so beautiful on the outside that it didn't have any depth on the inside. Or maybe that's how you are perceived. Maybe if some of you are extremely attractive, and I feel like a lot of you know you are, but maybe you've had people in your life that they haven't had much depth. So they sort of latch onto that attractive energy and kind of square you up in the lustful department or the sexy department, or because I saw all that touching energy. But maybe you connected to people where you felt that energy, but you desired something deeper. And maybe this is situations where somebody didn't stick around or actually weren't ready for that deeper thing, or even got to the point where they got to deeply know who you are to see how much depth is behind that beauty. And I'm not just getting that surface level beauty. I'm seeing that whoever I'm connecting to, your beauty is a different kind of genuine beauty. It feels like charisma. It feels like energy. So whether it's that somebody is just attracted to your personality, they're attracted to your smile, the way you communicate, there's something about your energy that's attractive. You might attract people that don't even typically, date somebody that's your style or whatever that is, but there's something about you where people are just drawn to you. But that usually means if you have that bright light, there's going to be, the beautiful energies drawn to you, but there's probably I'm getting some dusty moths also drawn to you as well. So it's up to you to stand in that power to affirm within yourself what feels like it's that true divine attraction and not just that surface level thing. And I'm not seeing that all of you are attracting to someone just on a surface level, but I feel like you've had experiences where that's what's happened. Where maybe you even saw in that person's soul, you saw that this person had so much potential for depth. But then if somebody is in that denial and not ready to face those things that maybe they are fearful about, even if your light saw their truth, this could be somebody that wasn't ready to see their own truth. And that can be hurtful. So that being said, I think I need my glasses so we can read this eye candy that the angels are bringing you. Maybe you see 5-5 a lot. That's also, the fives make me think of change. Change is inevitable. Change is always going to happen. So it's how you handle the changes. This is you trusting your intuition. I feel like that's what I saw with that glowing dove there. It's inspired action. Your action is taking you towards, your signs are bringing you towards that road of victory. Your soul doesn't want to see you go through all these hard lessons. Your soul wants you to learn and elevate and have success, have abundance, have true love, have amazing experiences. Be in the energy of joy. Be in the energy of happiness. You may have signed up for situations that felt like more pain and suffering, but that wasn't to keep you there. That was to give you the energy of the wounded healer, to catapult you out of that situation, to get you beyond any stuck, karmic patterns that you may have been going through, so that you get to be the new narrator of your beautiful story. So what do you want your beautiful story to be? Because you do have to pay attention to what your thoughts are. If your thoughts are always, it can't happen, the right one never comes in, you're always locked behind that gate, the victories never really turn out to how grand you thought they would be, or you're not good enough, then you're in that negative mindset where you're going to reflect those situations back into your life until you learn to have the self-awareness to get out of that mindset and see every situation in a different way. So, intuition, inspired action, beauty. I saw that beauty energy. Art, socializing, flow, potential, and romance. Get some fresh air. Call some of your pals over. Take a look around you. That's what I was seeing with that energy. There's so much natural beauty. And that's like nature as well. I keep seeing somebody's beautiful smile, like an authentic smile, somebody's laugh. It's the opposite of, why don't you smile? Smile for me. It's like the worst thing you can say. Oh, come on, smile. It's like, what do you mean? Don't tell me what to do. But when it's a genuine smile and it just happens, it's so beautiful. It's like a light that you see in somebody's eyes, on somebody's face. Either you will soon, or so much natural beauty waiting to be discovered. There is, either you will soon be involved in a new exciting project, something that you love doing, you love putting your time and your attention into, just to get to do it today, whether it's a success or a failure, it feels like a victory. And for some of you, you're going to be going on a date. Maybe that starts with date 2. Maybe you have to show up to the date. I even feel like with that, maybe somebody's even coming over to your house. Put your charisma. That's what I saw. I love when these verify the messages that come through. That just makes me so, it makes me so happy. I feel so blessed to get to share those messages. So put your charisma to use everywhere, not just in love land, not just on the date. Put your charisma to use, when you're opening the door for a stranger. Even that charisma when you're writing your resume. I even see you like sitting next to somebody else that's maybe up for the same position. Maybe you both don't get it. Maybe one of you gets the position. Maybe you sit there and you make a new best friend that regardless of if you'll work together or not, You're still gonna go on a friend date together. Spread your charm around. Got a little prince or princess charming moment coming in, but that's actually you. You're charming the pants or the dress off of somebody. So I love this. I feel very grateful to be here giving you this message today. So let's do this, because when I let out Rose, I felt like this one had the energy in it. So this is the modern love, although the messages on the cards are kind of everyday modern situations. So let's just see what would be, wow, that was so quick. The most beneficial for you is smoother waters ahead. That you're finally seeing something in a different light. You're finally recognizing the lessons you learned from different emotional situations and thinking about those lessons in a different way. You're leaving the baggage behind you. You're taking what you need with you. You're even heading towards a new situation where even if a storm blows, you know how to navigate through or around that storm differently because you've been there before. This is where you're mentally clear about how far you've come because of what you've gone through. And it's smoother waters ahead. You know, if you want to get that boat moving, you can't keep yourself tethered with the anchor to the dock. You know, if there is a lot waiting for you on the other side of that shore or after that journey, you don't have to pack a huge suitcase with you where there could be something brand new waiting for you, or what you are discovering is new while you're on this journey might connect you to different things that you actually desire to have in your life than that past self, that past you, that past cycle. So it's creating that space, but you're definitely taking a journey. There could be somebody in this boat with you. You might be sitting in that boat by yourself. Six of Swords is really beautiful. It's a beautiful combination of the head and your mental clarity and your emotions. And it looks like you are heading towards where you're not going to feel so heartbroken anymore, where you have learned from heartbreak huge truths in you, because that flipped out upside down. Heartbreak, I mean, the Three of Swords is it's not my favorite card. It's kind of harsh, you know? It's like you have all these three swords, this broken vase and this, you know, beautiful rose that's squished on the floor, and the one's already dying in the vase. The water here is all like gross, like a pond. There's this picture that is cracked and broken. But sometimes these are the human lessons that we go through because they offer such a tremendous healing. Sometimes you go through a situation that actually wasn't healthy for you, and even though that situation may be hurtful to walk away from, there is a beautiful healing that happens on the new journey ahead of you. Just because you've had heartbreak in the past doesn't mean every person is going to break your heart. And sometimes that heartbreak energy is where you had to walk away from a past dream. Sometimes that heartbreak is felt because you're walking away from that old part of who you thought you were and holding on to something so tightly, even though it's starting to really not fit. It's starting to feel like it's cracking and torn and tattered. But it's sometimes really hard to go into that brand new energy of what you are becoming because it's really different. So let's see why you have heartbreak. I feel like with the Six of Swords, you're moving away from it. You're healing because of it. You're starting to feel better. It could also be if some of you were in denial about your true feelings from somebody from the past, or that somebody that was in denial about how they really felt from you. And maybe they felt like walking away, self-sabotage, stopping progress of a partnership before it really got too deep was the way to go, because if they get too deep, that shit's gonna hurt. And if this was something that somebody really felt deeply in their soul as a true love, that avoidance energy may have ended up to actually circled back around and caused even more heartache than the possibility that there could have been a separation. Like that forced separation, that forced disconnection, that forced distance, ghosting, breadcrumbs, lack of communication. You know, somebody just gone out on a journey all of a sudden may have been somebody's intention that would hurt less. Maybe that would hurt you less, that would hurt them less. And if there was still this deep love, that energy could have been really felt after the fact. And now it feels like, shit, what did they lose? What did they miss out on? Why did they let fear get in the way? They don't even know if something is possible, yet that love still feels true. So let's see. It could also be because there's 3 swords. Somebody maybe had to let go of a partnership. Whichever partnership was in their life or position or environment, whatever it is, that was part of an old cycle that was meant to change. Maybe somebody stayed somewhere they were not happy because they were afraid of hurting everybody else, and yet they were going through this solitude of inner pain. And that just feels like, especially with this here, if somebody was just so painfully scared of hurting somebody else, and yet they were not living in their truth, and they were always in denial, wearing a mask, pretended they wanted to be there, that in turn is gonna probably even create more pain for the other person that thinks that person is there for the right reasons, that thinks that somebody is staying out of love. And yet if it's always with a mask on, or they're always feeling an internal disconnect with that person, that's not being fair to the person that thinks that this is a back and forth equal kind of love. Now that is unrequited love, except one is not even being gifted the truth to know that the other person doesn't feel the same. So let's get one more. These are big today. These are big messages. But I am getting mostly that there is a gift coming in where your heart will feel alive again. Your heart will get to be in its truth. Where even maybe just being in a certain partnership, whether that's a friendship or a lover, it feels like getting to be in each other's life is almost like I'm getting like winning the lottery, winning the soul's lottery, you know, experience of a lifetime. It's not just an empty victory. It feels golden. It feels comfortable. It feels like it's cleansing. It feels like you're just chilling out there in your sexy bikini in the sunshine and just like going in your floaty. Every time I see the floaty, for me, that's like really just letting the energies pass you by. You know, it's like you're on the river of life, but now you have that spiritual floaty. So whether it's rapids that you get to, a waterfall you have to go over, or just the lazy river, or the lull where you just get a chance to savor the wind and the water and the sunshine, that you're in the right vibration to handle it. This is finding your center. This being at peace with all of your decisions. This is feeling at peace in your environment. This is going internal and having meditation to know what the right direction is for you. What to do in each energetic weathering condition, because here it's sunny and 70, but you know, with this, it's usually that you came out of a storm. The 4 of Swords, if that was upside down, that could be somebody that was in denial, that their comfortable environment wasn't so comfortable. So instead of that sexy bathing suit or banana hammock, whatever your style is, somebody was going out there in that floaty and putting on some big like medieval armor crap on, and they were sinking in the floaty or not getting to really feel that water on their skin. It's somebody who always had that protection up and weren't completely comfortable maybe with who they are or their own truth. You have the Ace of Pentacles on the bottom. So whatever is coming in, you're going to feel so at peace. You're going to feel so comfortable and in tune with those lessons you learned. Those lessons you learned that now with the 4 bring you stability. You're also progressing here because maybe you took like a little step backwards. Maybe this journey is the start, or this new clarity is the start on past heartbreak or past situations and how to heal from that, and why that healing is important and valued on your growth, on your progression, because you move from the 3 now to the 4 of Swords. Something that was kind of coming internal, once focused on and not denied, is now moving out of your life and expanding your world. And it's taking you to a tangible offer, your golden ticket. Somebody's going to give you a gift that is a brand new start, a brand new beginning, but it's taking this beautiful seed of potential, whether that's a partnership, the potential in you, a potential new position and job, a potential new project, the potential after a first date. Because people, places, things, anything in the what you can touch land, I did see that before. You have to put effort now, or somebody has to put effort, plant this seed into the earth, everyday reality, and continue to maintain that garden. Every season will not be the same. Sometimes you get plenty of emotion, plenty of rain. You don't have to drag the garden hose out there, but sometimes, if it's a long dry spell, it's been sunny and 70 for way too long, but now there's no nourishment on that partnership or that situation or in yourself, then you need to add a little extra nourishment. Sometimes it's about sticking a little toe in. Sometimes you just dive on in. Sometimes you rise above and you glide along the surface, and sometimes you need to really go deep and internal. With this energy of the Ace, if you have this beautiful offer, and then you're like, oh, maybe I'll get to that later, and you stick it in the drawer, the offer might be there, or maybe somebody goes in that drawer and takes that offer away. But if it's never planted in earth, planted in reality, planted in the ground, it's not going to grow very big, even if the seed packet says it's going to be this beautiful lush forest or this, field of wildflowers. There's something about it having to be in tune with all of the other elements for that growth to happen. So you have a beautiful, tangible beginning. But sometimes this is starting over, and that's okay. The whole, the whole tree, the whole molecular structure of that entire tree is in the seed, or is in the acorn, is in the pine cone. So if you go out there and you want something to grow faster than is ready, you want something to heal faster than he or she or they or you are ready, that's like you're blocking the sunshine. You're placing your hands on something so it grows faster, and you're stunting that growth, or you're stunting that progress. Or you're possibly not even recognizing how deep those roots are actually growing under the ground before something is ready to actually sprout out towards the sun, towards illumination, towards the light, towards the truth. Sometimes a situation has to go dark because we're in a world of opposites. We're in a world of dichotomy, black and white. So sometimes there is a purpose for the dark, even if it's, this. Here you're in the sunshine, but typically this is sleeping. The light and the day are both important. To be scared to see one or the other is giving you only half of the truth. Maybe this is somebody who didn't want to see the other side of the coin, or never got to see the other side of the moon. But it just makes me think of now, picture seeing the other side of the sun. It's not dark without illumination. That sun's energy is projecting out that other direction that you can't quite see. So there's something about the moon having illumination, but actually being dark on the one side. and there's something coming in that matches it perfectly, and I just see that other side of the sun, and I'm not sure exactly why. So let's go to the universe, since I'm seeing planets now. And where is it? Here. Let's get you a final message from the universe. On the Ace of Pentacles, a new beginning, an ending, a walking away, allowance and letting something go, huge strength in no longer denying yourself, or somebody not denying themselves of their truth, their direction, their authenticity, their feelings, ultimate clarity. If people are gossiping about you, I kind of feel like this is what I saw before with the weird moths. If people are gossiping about you or speaking rumors, don't fall for it. That's a big message. Don't worry about what anyone else says. There are all kinds of people out there. There are all kinds of people that are going to just project their own projection of what's going on inside of them, or their projection on what they think your path should be. They're not in your soul. They're not in your shoes. They don't feel what you feel, or have gone what you felt, or gone through what you have felt, been in your shoes. So someone can have, all of the experience in the world, but it's not your experience. So if anyone's talking, let them talk. If you are shining and you're in this energy of victory, if you are getting to feel the truth of your heart, especially if you have somebody coming in and you have this vibration where you're just two peas in a pod and you don't even know what anyone else is talking about, because maybe they never got to have that experience. People can talk out of jealousy. They can talk from their own selfish intentions. They can talk just to talk. They can talk just to be a gossip, to get attention. They can talk to show shade. They can talk to also vibrate beautiful light that can be helpful. Not all gossip is bad. Sometimes people talk and they are helpful to you. But even in that position, you can't latch on to what anyone else is saying. You can only be truly in tune with what your inner voice is saying, or a conversation that you directly have with a specific person that is between you and them. Anyone else looking upon that situation from an outside perspective, it's just hearsay. Even if you're talking about a partnership to somebody else, you're talking about your own perception of what that partnership is. That other person isn't getting to chime in, but it's also just a projection. So now that person is hearing that information, having their own projection, comparing it to whatever they are thinking, they are feeling, they are going through. And if there's any advice or there's any talk, it's just still that gossip of what you were talking about or what you had gone through that is now, like the telephone, kind of getting warped into the ether. So don't fall for it. Nobody is worth lowering your vibration for. Let it move through you. See it for what it is, which is just a reflection of their pain, rather than the result of your actions. And sometimes people that are going through a lot of pain, if they don't have self-awareness, it's all about choice. Some people go through painful situations and they want everyone else to be in pain too. If they're in pain, then others have to feel that hurt too. And that's just a lower vibration. That's just showing where they're coming from. Sometimes people show that pain or reflect that reflection, and yet they try to bathe it in a light. But if it's causing pain, it's just stemming from what they're going through. To react back and now cause more pain back is you letting their reaction lower your light, lower your vibration. And now it's just, instead of a beautiful butterfly effect of love, it's now like all these moths getting burned in a lower vibrational flame. There's also something really human and divine about this reading. Sometimes the triggers, the pain, the harsh stuff you go through is where you gain a lot of strength, where you gain the most growth. So to try to completely protect somebody from not feeling that pain, sometimes in turn, actually even makes it more painful than maybe being direct, truthful, authentic, real, but yet with that, still a vibration of love. You can give the harsh truth, but do it with the energy of love and pure intentions. Maybe that's also a lesson that somebody is learning. So I feel like this was our reading. I'm going to leave this here. I hope it was helpful. Thank you so much for being here today. I love you so much, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. I hope something came through here that was helpful for you. I send you much beautiful light, love, blessings of joy, and I feel gratitude.